Your special duties?
Got Steve Harrigan.
Steve Judy.
Stuart will play drums.
Right, so assuming people who get to watch this know fuck all about punk and what's going on here this weekend, how would you explain it to them?
I think it's like 20th anniversary celebration of punk rock. It's obviously like had a major effect on the youth of 1977 and 76, 77 and onwards. And I think it's just people coming together from all walks, all countries, all getting back together, just showing that the spirit's still alive and the interest is still there, which I think is proved easily, far above the expectations I think they never said.
So how do you feel about the general atmosphere? Yeah.
Really good.
It's the same, isn't it? It's better really, because I mean there's no hint of any trouble.
No, there always used to be trouble with gigs before, it's just much nicer now, so yeah.
The atmosphere's excellent.
Yeah.
You turned up last night, they said it's 2,000 people, 2,500, which, 15, 20 years ago, would have been outnumbered by the police. And there was no trouble, right?
Even though they're charging £2.20 for a pint of wine.
Yeah.
Still no trouble.
Fucking criminal.
Guys, I'll sacked off and it's practicing.
If you go right back to the beginning of when you started as a band, can you tell me a little bit what the music scene was like then and the general atmosphere of things in that time?
Yeah, hold on a minute, we just got how many years ago was that? And Maurice Ray. No, more than that. I remember. Steve and I were a couple of outcasts at school. We used to do stupid things like cut our bloody rugby shirts up, stick them back on with safety pins. Everyone thought we were completely mental, and we were. Used to get the band from the youth club and all that sort of shit, 15, 16. We just fitted in the punk very well, I think.
Yeah, although we sort of only, as special duties, night boat to Galway. Fucked off then a bit. They're not playing, are they?
No, really hope not.
That's the Trolls. We know we've never heard of the Trolls, now we know who they are. Seriously, obviously we were into it from the start now. We were a little bit young in 76, 77, so by the time we got our act together and we were like in a position to afford proper rehearsal studios, or to get the right gear, get record contracts, do demos, we sort of got caught up in the 1980, 81, 82 sort of second wave of punk, even though we always felt we had more in common with the original 77 side. And you know, we go out of our way to get that message across. Yeah, whatever year it is, we still try to bring the year 1977 into being. I can't remember what the question was. Can you?
Just pretty much that what the scene was like at the time. It was pretty sad. I mean, it was status quo, it was Queen.
Oh yeah, before punk came along, I mean, it was terrible. But then punk's left a lasting impression. Without punk, you wouldn't have had picture discs, 12-inch singles, picture sleeves, independent record labels. So even in the days of crap bands like Oasis and Blur, you know, they've got us to thank for the independence of it. Cheers, boys. That's me anyway. I mean, we were just desperate to be a part of the scene, really. Punk blocks just sort of blew us away, you know. Just wanted to be part of it, and just like following the fashion and turning up at gigs just wasn't enough, really. We just wanted to have our own little piece, you know. We just wanted to be a little piece of the jigsaw, you know. So it meant everything to us, you know. It still does.
So, what can you tell me about your personal outlook on life? How's that changed through working with a band over all these years?
I don't think our personal outlook's changed at all, really. We've still got. When you look at punk music was. We came out of school into punk music, and we came out with a view on life, which I don't think has changed really. We've got older, we've got fatter, we've got more responsible. Nothing much has changed. I've got fatter. You've got fatter, you're right, skinny, small. But I don't think our outlook on life has changed really. Our values are still the same as they were.
The world still sucks, doesn't it? So still plenty of songs to write, you know. I think that, you know, the one good thing is about, you know, it's 20 years later, the lyrics are just as relevant for bands like us and other bands that sort of wrote about life and stuff that's going on around you. You know what I mean? I think the lyrics are still relevant, and that's important. because there's a few songs we'd like to do in '96, but the lyrics may have lost a bit of their relevance, so we tend not to do them. Most of them obviously remain the same.
Such as?
I wrote a song called They Don't Care About Me, which is about Big Boss, you know, the fact you've got a them and us situation. I was only thinking that yesterday, that situation hasn't changed. Government policies, about the way the government run things, you know, not good then, not good now. A couple of examples. Crash is still shit as well, man.
Crash is still shit. Yeah.
I won't bring that.
No, don't.
Alright, so
We in the Crash?
do you think that
I've in it.
do you think that punk actually changed anything?
No. You're still getting ripped off it. I mean, like, we're here today, this festival, it's still making someone else a little bit more money. Everyone else has still got to fork out their money to buy a good point. You know? I went to try and get a cup of coffee or something to eat earlier on, and I couldn't get one. And I just thought, well, it's bad, you know. All these bands have got together, they've all come up here, they won't even give you a coffee. You know? So nothing's changing that.
We can't get a coffee.
No, like, yeah,
Good point, Stuart. Well made. That's a good point. Well made. You tell me all the time, don't you? Don't ever give him a microphone.
no, don't. All he's worried about is coffee and bun. Have some chips and anything.
It's by sort of 78. The music press said the original wave of punk was dead. Took their usual stance of denying it all. How did you feel about that, the way it was treated?
Yeah, I think like the 78, right, yeah, the bands like The Clash, The Damned, Pistols and that, to be in the right place at the right time like they were, to be the first wave of punk, meant they must have been into other music beforehand in order to be able to play their instruments and write their songs, right? But the bands from 80 onwards were the punks that were influenced by those bands. So that was the real punk wave, if you like, because they were the bands that were influenced by punk. Now, unfortunately for 77 bands, they couldn't be influenced by punk because they invented it. So that's not their fault, you know, because like The Clash obviously still like one of the best bands of all time. But I think once The Clash, The Damned, The Pistols, bands like that had kind of gone out of the public eye or moved on or signed a major record labels, some of the bands that played it today, like the Drones and Spurgeon Stones, you know, to me they were the real punk bands of 77, and it's just fantastic to be able to get the opportunity to watch those bands play, you know, and they haven't disappointed us. Yeah, listen to the music press anyway. You've got, I don't know how many thousand people you've got here today, but NME and Melody Maker between them haven't given it 2 lines, you know, so the music press don't fuck with it anyway.
So move on to sort of 1990. You had the old Seattle thing, which was supposed to be based on punk ethics, and then you got Green Day, Offspring, Rancid and Co. There's the media give that a lot of time. The American scene, yet the UK scene, they've still got no time for it.
That's right, yeah. Well, there was no MTV for the original first punk bands, were there?
No, and that's really helped them.
Bands like Green Day and Rancid have been fortunate that, you know, that 20 years later, I mean, things have moved on. The media in general is more accessible. You know? I mean, MTV is the perfect example. I mean, they call it MTV punk, but I don't like that against them because all of those bands you mentioned, I think, are really good. You know, Seattle grunge was just cheap punk anyway to me. I mean, Nirvana were just third-rate Sticky Fingers as far as I was concerned. So, but again, they were in the right place at the right time. They had MTV because Sticky Fingers didn't.
So, to you personally, what's the best thing that came out of punk?
The best thing that came out of
Special
punk,
Duties.
Special Duties. No, the best thing that came out of punk, really, if you look back on it, we had a lot of fun. 4 lads who got together in their teens, who are all good mates now. Now we've got the second generation, we've obviously got the kids. It's nice for them to socialise, it's nice for the wives to socialise, it's just good, you know. It's nice that we've got a good
Camaraderie
friendship,
as well. I mean, there's people in that hall from all over Europe. I've been talking to someone from Israel's come over from Tel Aviv. He's got all Special Duties records. You know. So I'm just talking personally, and there's people there from all over the world, and they're all just congregating, enjoying each other's company, enjoying each other's interests. And I just think that's brilliant. I don't think anybody could have dreamt at 20 years old there'd be something like this.
And I think also what's nice is people that you knew back then that used to come and watch us and now coming back to watch us again, they like us have got older, fatter and wiser, but it's really nice to see the faces and they say, do you remember when you played at such and such a gig? And they say, yeah, shit, we took you back to so and so. Great. Nice to see them again. It's nice that everybody still has that same face. Nice that everybody still loves the music and everybody gets on well, even though we've all changed to a certain degree. It's just nice.
So what do you think is the worst thing that came out of punk?
The casualties. That was the worst thing that came out of punk. Fucking Americans. Old men. You'll be fat and old one day.
Yeah, give it soon, give it time. Worst thing that came out of punk. That's a good question, Steve. Worst thing that came out of
Worst
punk.
thing came out, crass for me, but we don't really want to go there, do we?
No.
Because they weren't punk anyway, so it was pointless to see them just getting in there.
Worst thing that came out of punk.
Worst thing, there was a lot of bad things really, wasn't there? Can't think of any of them.
No.
We've never been ones for upsetting people, so we don't really do much. We don't really want to say what the worst thing was.
Anti-pasty.
Anti-pasty, pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, anti-pasty.
Anti-pasty.
Oh,
Anti-pasty were the worst ones because they
what
were...
about
they were
Mike Comerford?
Mike Comerford, yeah.
Rondelet
Yeah.
Records. Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the wrong part of
Somebody
the
else
diet,
upset,
didn't
didn't
they?
it? Jello
His
Biafra.
partner.
Jello Biafra, he was pretty sad.
Anti-pasty were the worst thing to come out, I think.
Yeah.
They were a real sad bunch. They really bullied us. We were much younger than them. They bullied us as a group. They were a much better band as a group, much better, the biggest band on the label. The Lord did it. We didn't get anything as a consequence because they managed to suck everything.
But where are they today? They haven't fucking turned up, have they?
And they always got coffee and buns.
Yeah. We never got the coffee.
You can't get coffee now, can you?
All right. Finally, one quick one. In as few words as possible, what does punk mean to you?
Now, then, in general.
In general, yeah.
Just fun.
Oh. Punk means...
Good music. Good music. People who don't like punk are people that haven't listened to punk because it's never been anything like it. It never will.
The one thing I would like to say is there's far too many, there's not enough punks, okay? And they get into band rivalry and you still get sort of in-house fighting, if you like. I mean, there's not enough people to worry about. We're all the same family. Yeah. You know? Well, just all get together, go, have a good time, okay, none of this shit, we don't like this, we don't like them. Yeah. Nice.
So, anything else you want to mention before?
Yeah, that's our favourite photograph. Did you send it back to me?
No, I've got them indoors.
Which one?
With us pointing at Andy Pesty on the stage indoor, laughing.